So for the love of cars and for classics being what they are, you know, and I've been a classic car guy my whole life, and I knew that Harley Earl was a big name in classic cars. But after reading your book, I just have such a profound appreciation for who he was and what he did. And I would love to just kind of start off by asking, how did you begin your research into Harley Earl? Why Harley Earl? Like, what led you down that path?
Well, uh, again, this goes back to my dad. He was in the Air Force from 51 to 54, and he
Okay.
was stationed at Travis, which is south of San Francisco. I think it's an hour drive south. Fairfield, I think, is the nearest town that the base is close to. Anyway, in early May of 53, the GM Motorama came to San Francisco.
Wow.
Motorama was a traveling exhibition, all GM products, everything, Frigidaire, kitchen, refrigerators, electromotive, the diesel engines, everything about GM was on display. And it was a free show. And elaborate
Wow.
displays, beautiful carpeting, backdrop. It took about 100 truck caravan to move all the cars and equipment. Turntables for the cars, the lighting, artwork. So there's a major production, a 5-6 city tour from 53 to 56. Then there were some sporadic motoramas after that. Anyway, he went to the one in San Francisco in 53, and he was showing me his Air Force scrapbook, photographs that he had taken, like when he was on leave and in New Mexico with some friends, and had pictures of, can't think of the name of it, the road race in Mexico, Pan American Road Race, I think is what it was called.
Okay.
Pictures of the Lincoln, is a blur, but Lincoln 53 Lincoln, I guess, going by. And then there were these 5 photographs from the GM Motorama. What are these cars? Well, the GM LeSabre was one of them, Buick XT300, the Corvette prototype, 1953 Le Mans, and 1953 Wildcat, Buick Wildcat, were the cars in the pictures.
Wow.
And those cars, they just awed me. And
I bet.
And these were one of a kind cars of concept cars, or I think he used the term dream cars. Not, in other words, not put in production.
Sure.
Well, what happened to those? They crushed them. I was just sick.
Yeah.
Just sick.
Sure.
Can't believe. Well, it turned out that wasn't altogether true. Some cars were scrapped, some were kept. Didn't quite seem like there was any real rhyme or reason exactly to what was saved. I can understand why they kept the LeSabre, Harley Earl's personal car.
That was a cool
for
car.
For some years, yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess it had some historical significance to GM. They kept it. There's different reasons why some of them got saved. We could go off an hour at least on all of that, but the bottom line is that those pictures just stuck in my mind. And it's not that they were great photos. You couldn't get back far enough. It's just the fin on the 53 Wildcat. That's kind of just a close-up. It's what he got of that.
Right.
And kind of a sort of a direct frontal view of the Corvette. But I mean, just what I could see just amazed me. So years and years later, mid-90s, I guess it was, so 20 years later, I heard about a book on the Motorama coming out. Oh, good. This will tell me what happened to all the cars, what cars
Sure.
it had, and written by a guy named Berghoff. Can't think of his first name right now. Anyway, I was expecting, this book about the cars. Well, actually, it was a book about the background, the setting up, delivering the cars, things that happened. It was interesting.
Right.
There was nothing wrong with the book. It just wasn't what I expected.
Right.
And I was thinking, gosh, I wish there was a book about the cars themselves, because all I could ever find was just little blurbs, a little
Right.
paragraph, just the bare minimum of facts. Little did I know I would end up writing the book roughly
There
another
you
20
go.
years later.
Yeah.
But it all began, the first book began with, I don't know if he's got to hold this in the right position, Car Collector magazine, a
Okay.
three-part article. I didn't even know it was going to be a three-part article. I was just going to write an article about the mysteries of the Motorama, the cars that don't know what happened to them, whether they still exist or not.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently that struck a nerve with some people. They got editors got a lot of letters about that series of articles. One
Really?
guy, yeah, one guy in Michigan, a guy named Perkins, he and his brother had seats from the '53 old Starfire, front bench seat out of apparently two different Starfires.
Okay.
Their father was an Olds engineer, and he bought them at an old salvage auction. Just curiosity. Put them on
Yeah.
casters so they could move them around.
Sure.
So anyway, sent a picture of one of the seats. So there was at least something of the car that still existed. And he said when the guy that he and his brother, when they got to working for GM, or at least John Perkins did, he tried to find out, well, what happened to these two cars, and his search led to the guy that had cut them up.
Wow.
Said, yeah, I had to cut up those cars. So as then he thought maybe along with the other was a seat and then a backup seat in case something happened to the upholstery. He didn't realize there were two of them. And then he got out his dad's logbook, Oldsmobile engineering logbook, and it showed 3 of the Starfires were built. Just learned that just from that article, or series of articles.
Okay.
And another guy sent in a picture of a 1953 Cadillac Le Mans sitting in the showroom of a Cadillac dealership in Maryland.
Really?
That was interesting, because
Yeah.
up to that point, the only one I knew that was still around was the fourth, the last one that was built, and then later modified under Harley Earl supervision for the guy that it was built for, guy that was president of Fisher Body. His name escapes me right now.
Right.
Anyway, it was built for him. And
Okay.
Harley Earl had it updated, changed the fins, changed the '59 Cadillac engine in it. Really made a substantial difference in its styling. It looks similar, but a lot different. So I knew that was still around, and as far as I knew up to that point, it was the only one of the 4 that still existed. So learned that there's still one, the original styling, still in existence.
That's really cool that because of this article that you wrote and people wrote in, that we discovered that some of these cars still existed, which is really neat. So you kind of cracked the case there.
Yeah, either pieces or the actual car still existed.
Yeah.
So that got me to thinking about a book. And a few
Okay.
months later, I'm starting on the book. And this first book took a couple of years to write. First year was just kind of organizing everything I knew. Second year was a deluge of information. I never knew what was going to happen from day to day. There were days just sitting at the keyboard typing, trying to find photography. And then the days where it was just, a bombshell discovery. And so it was a lot of fun. A lot of unexpected things happened to make that book come together.